So great to see so many people here, and welcome to the Data Science Career Roadmap, Setting Your Course for Success. Yeah, we really hope that you enjoy the session and you get a lot out of it. We've got a combination of things that we've created to really help you on your way and of your data science journey. So, little bit of housekeeping, if we can kick off with that. Really good to participate. You can put your hands up and come off the mic when we get to Q&A. If something really lands and you want to ask a question, feel free to do that as we go through. When you're not speaking, if you can keep your mic on mute, that would be great. And we also have the chat, which we will be monitoring. So please feel free to pop any questions in there. And it's really good to participate in these things. I often think the more that you put in, the more that you get out. And sometimes you might have a question or a thought, and it really helps trigger something in someone else. So please feel free to share. It's a very open forum, and most importantly, we need to have some fun. So we hope that you enjoy the session. And Neva and I, and I'm sure Dr. Ali also loves emojis, so keep those flying on the screen. It's really, really good to see. So, in terms of the agenda today, we've been joined by Dr. Ali, which is amazing, Dr. Ali, to have you here. We are going to be going through the data science landscape. We're going to be looking at your data science career. And then we're going to be looking at the SMART+D steps to success, which is really going to help you start putting things into action and into practice as you head on into the Career Accelerator. And then I'm hoping we will have time for Q&A. We've certainly looked to allow that, so you can ask any burning questions. So welcome everyone, and to give you a few intros, my name is Adele. I'm one of the career coaches here at Fourth Rev. I lose track of time about how long I've been here. I think it's 3 years, maybe a bit more. Worked across a number of career accelerators, worked on the Data Science Career Accelerator, and a number of learners that have been through that. And I always get really excited when we have a new group of learners joining, and to be part of your journey and to see it develop. Over to you, Neva.
Hi, thanks, Adele. Yeah, so I can say the same as Adele. Been here for a while. I suppose if you've been here 3 years, I've been here just a few months less. And just like Adele, I've worked on across all the career accelerators that Fourth Rev offers, data science being one of my favorites. And really excited to meet some of you and get to know you all as the course progresses. Dr. Ali, over to you.
Thank you very much, Neva. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming to this session. This is Ali Sherbaz. I am the Academic Director of the courses here in Cambridge. And one of the courses is the data science, which I am leading, working at the professional and continuing education at the University of Cambridge. I'm looking forward to hear your questions here to discuss that with you. And also I have more slides to share information about the course itself. When we started to think about this course, we actually have a market research with the top CEOs in the countries and people discussing what is actually the gap, what kind of skills you are looking for. So we end up to design the curriculum based on the market. It's not pure academic, it's not pure industry, it's a bit of both. So you're going to gain the best of the both worlds. So for that reason, when we design curriculum, we have academic. If you join the course, we will have Cambridge academics. You're going to learn from them. And also there will be industry mentors. You also learn from them about how actually industry they are learning from that. And when we design the course, it's 7 months long, probably as you know from the landing page. 4 modules, there is a challenge for us, that because that's a career accelerator, so we are expecting a diverse group to join us, and that is a challenge by itself. So in terms of the skills, we need to design module 1, so we can put all of you in the same ground, learning about the statistics, the foundation of that, how does that link with the industry, what does it mean by business mindset, what does it mean by learning from the data, how does it work when you try to explain to your line manager, which most likely they are not technically, they have technical background, they have no idea about the data science, but you have to explain them the impact and the value of what you're finding. That kind of concept you're going to learn. And when we move to module 2, it's about supervised learning. You're going to learn about machine learning algorithms, how they are going to help you to design and work with your data sets. And we work with companies, they provide us with data sets. And during that module 2, you are going to, so module 1, we have Dr. Alexia. She's going to teach you module 1, alongside, of course, the industry mentors, and the ladies is going to show you what other services you're going to provide from the coach, career coach. In module 3, that is the longest module or course. It's 8 weeks. The first and the second course are 6 weeks each. So you will have an assessment and by the end of each course. And then after course 3, it's 8 weeks. 4 weeks, you're going to learn NLP, natural language processing. And the second part is going to be time series analysis. When we move to the last part of the course, which is the employer project, that means you're going to work with one of the employers here. Currently, we have Bank of England. There will be more. They're talking to bring their untapped data sets, real world case study or examples, and you're going to learn and work on with your as a group project on the module course 4. Sorry, and then you finish. By that time, many of your colleagues they change their career, they found a job. Of course, we help them. We can act them as a reference myself to apply for another job. We try our best to secure for you the job you dream of. I'm not gonna spend more time. I'm gonna hand it to the colleagues, but I'm here for any questions you would like to ask about the course. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ali. So as Dr. Ali explained, there's quite a bit to do on the course, and the course sort of guides you through all the technical things, and we'll sort of talk to you a little bit about the kind of muscles that you're going to need to begin using and to sort of build as you go on to think about becoming a successful data scientist. So what does it take? So when we see sort of this iceberg, we're sort of looking at, you know, above the sea level, it's what people are seeing. Below the sea level is the kind of work that's needed. It's sort of like when you see tennis stars, and I sort of bring that up because Wimbledon is going on here in the UK. You know, you see the tennis stars winning championships, and what we're seeing is their success story, but we're not really seeing the sort of the early morning get-ups, the practice, you know, going to the gym, then going to the courts, you know, the hours practicing, the technique, the sacrifices they make, the persistence they have, the dedication, the disappointment when they're losing. All of that is sort of part of the parcel of becoming a tennis star. And of course, part of that also is setting some good habits. So at the end of the day, we see them picking up a trophy, but we're not seeing what's happening underneath, which is sort of under the sea level of the iceberg. So what's beneath the surface is all the muscles that you're going to need, you know, to make that happen, the extra attention that you're going to have to give to them as you set out on your journey. You know, for your journey to becoming a successful data scientist, some of these muscles will be about the skills, you know, whether it's Python or NLP modeling. Some of them will be sort of getting LinkedIn ready, you know, creating your personal brand. But quite on the other side will be the mindset that you will need, the growth mindset muscles, being resilient, sort of being adaptable. You're going to be juggling the course with maybe work, with family, with life. And so it's sort of taking some time and reflecting on what are the muscles that you're going to need in this time, that you're going to need to rely on to make sure that you can get through the course and you can get to that career that you've been really looking forward to. So take a look at this list, and reflect on the muscles that you're going to need to focus on. Have a look at sort of some of the examples that we've got, but maybe even sort of think about what is it that you think you will need to be able to get through this course. You know where you are, you know what's going on in your life. We're going to go on to the next slide, which is Slido, and we'd love you to share some of the muscles that you think you might need on this journey. I hope the Slido works. Right, I don't know where it's gone. Okay, so let's do it in the chat. Right, here we have the muscles. So as these things happen, so in the chat, please let us know, what are the muscles that you're going to need to build on, go to the gym for, as you set out on this journey of learning more about data science, becoming data scientists and getting that career that you're hoping for. Whether you're changing careers or whether you're looking to level up, let us know what you think you will need to practice.
And it's really good in this side to think about those tangible skills and then the mindset skills. I think often we come at a kind of up leveling with career accelerators, very much about the tangible skills, but actually it can be the mindsets that's sitting behind that to really master those tangible skills. Cool.
We've got a lot of people looking at personal branding, setting up the GitHub, managing expectations. Very good. Looking on the mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, time management.
Getting LinkedIn ready. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Adele.
I think the time management and the managing expectations actually do kind of sit a little bit hand in hand, because if we are our expectations around how long things are going to take us is not right, then our time management can go out of sync. Then we end up being frustrated with ourselves, which is counterproductive.
Yeah, and and I agree with that. And we've got a lot of people talking about LinkedIn ready and networking. So I think we've got a few people who are in the networking mindset, Adele. We really like that.
We do like that. That's such a huge part of it these days. And often what comes with that from a mindset point of view, when you think about the LinkedIn, it's actually embracing that challenge. And again, the expectations of how quick sometimes things get moving. Some people do connect with 5 people and land the job. Sometimes it does take more than the 5 people. So again, that kind of managing expectations is really key. Great. Super lovely to see all these answers. Cool. Leads us nicely on to the next part of the process, which is the future you. So, we can see already you're thinking about it with, with some of these answers, having those new skills, looking at, connecting and leveraging LinkedIn and building your personal brand, looking at the new mindset or kind of, increased mindset skills that you want to develop to then be able to, continue to develop on those kind of tangible skills. So if we go to slide 12, please, Neva. Really start, with all that you've kind of, been thinking about, really start thinking about what does your data science future look like? There are going to be other goal setting elements within the career coaching that you'll tap into, but this is a really good start to kind of think about, what's the goal now? What's the, quite current goal that you've got, which I would say on that list is probably completely a career accelerator. But then there might be other goals kind of around that, looking at where your LinkedIn profile is now, where do you want it to be, the number of connections you've got, where you want it to be. So very much those kind of current goals. But then what's really good is to actually think out 3 years from now and to think out 5 years from now. Now, what I like to do, and often, I think myself and Neva, when we're coaching people, is we actually look at that 5-year goal, and then it's about reverse engineering it back. So really thinking 5 years from now, and I get really excited about this because if we think, and it's quite, you know, little bit confronting sometimes when we start thinking about the date. So 2030, 5 years from now, really thinking, you know, what am I going to be doing? I will have done this course. You know, this will be a small step on the way. You know, when you kind of look back on it, it'll be one of those dots that lined up to get you to where you want to be. So really start thinking, you know, what does 5 years look like? Then you can, you know, think back 3 years and think back now, you know, those connections that you make on LinkedIn now, completing the career accelerator now, building the personal brand now, it's going to get you to that point 3 years and it's going to get you to that 5 year point. So if we go to slide 13, we've got some questions here that can really help you to start thinking about that vision for 5 years from now. Where will you be?
Adele, I'm just
Yeah.
going to stop sharing the screen and start again. Seems there might be some problems in the view.
Okay. I'll hold that thought. Okay, cool.
Shall I move on to the next slide?
Yeah. So, oh no, go up. Yeah, there we go. This is good because I couldn't see the slides before. So yeah, here's some questions to really help start bringing about this vision and kind of creating, you know, a full picture. Really thinking about where you'll be working. You know, as part of the coaching, you will be looking, and for those of you that are, and you know, even if you're in a role now and up leveling, potentially 5 years from now, you'll be wanting to work for another company. You know, really thinking what are the companies you want to work for, who are the people that are out there that you'd like to work with, what does the space look like, where will you be living? You know, really having that vision to what we're moving towards is great. Often as humans, we naturally end up moving away from what we don't want. And it's because we've really not cemented that vision for what we want to move towards. So having that vision for the future for your data science career and your life is interlinked with that is really good because it shines the spotlight on where you're going versus shining the spotlight on what you don't want and what you're moving away from. So just have a look at some of these questions. Now we are going to do a little exercise. And I think some of you might be really glad that you haven't got cameras on, but we would be letting you turn them off if you did. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I totally understand, but it is really, really powerful. The visioning and creating that picture and really getting kind of, you know, the internal, you know, ideas flowing and creating that picture of what you want is really, really powerful and can be a complete game changer. You know, particularly when you're hitting bumpy parts of the journey, to keep going back to actually this is what I'm creating. So have a look at some of these questions, you know, really thinking things that I like when I'm doing some visioning work is to be thinking, right, 5 years from now, what do I want to have achieved? What does success look like to me 5 years from now? And really get excited about that. And then you can make it more tangible. You know, what's the data that you're working on? What's the insights that you're telling? Who are you telling them to? Who you're helping with the data science work that you're doing? What challenges have you solved? So if we go to the next slide, and we can't see any of you, so you know, feel free to kind of dive in. We will want, if any of you got a pen and paper, or you can obviously you know, get a Word doc up. We will be going to write the vision down, but Neve, just go back a slide a second. If you all want to just take a moment and close your eyes. Really think, what does 5 years from now look like in your data science career and journey? What's that dream company you want to be working for? Maybe you want to have set up your own business, be working as a consultant and getting called up to go into organizations to help them. What are those data science challenges? Really be thinking, to kind of get the vision more tangible, thinking about, what you're seeing, who you're talking to, the sounds, the taste, the smells, the environment. What's the office look like? You can go down to, what you're wearing to work, what's your commute, where are you living? Sometimes when people are doing this is where they really get to map out those kind of dreams and goals. Perhaps it's moving countries, perhaps it's working remotely. So just take a moment. Let those ideas bubble away. And sometimes it's not always about being logical, it's about being a bit dreamy and then applying the logic of how you're going to make that happen. And then if you want to get your pen and paper, start gathering all that data that's been whirling around in your mind. Start thinking about your vision. And if anybody wants to share anything, if you haven't got a pen and paper handy, feel free to pop it in the chat. We'd love to hear. Anyway, somebody got a big, I'm sure more than one of you has got a big dream. And I know society can condition us to, not play big or not share those big dreams, but really that's where it's, where it starts. So anybody want to share anything?
Sometimes in sharing, you're committing, and that commitment sits in your subconscious.
Cool, thanks, Zach. The companies that you would really like to work for?
And what are those data science products? That's a really good, ambitious one to design new disease targets, design better drugs, and it's gotten very specific very quickly.
Great work. Fabulous.
I like that.
Yeah. I think it's such an exciting space to be in at the moment with the development of AI and just how much kind of data is being used that I think there's real opportunities to put those dreams out there, and then it's about looking at, right, how do I make that happen? Ashley, I don't know where you're working at the moment, but it's like, okay, so if it's around new disease targets and designing drugs, then it's about really mapping out that market around the pharmaceutical, the clinical trials, how's data being used. And then when you have that vision for the future, it really helps you carve the path that you need to kind of go down. It starts identifying the companies, the people that you need to network with. And that's really where that kind of reverse engineering comes back into it.
Someone who wants their own business. Very good.
Fabulous. And you've got the 3-year one there as well. So that's brilliant.
And it's really good to see the diverse sort of interests, that everybody's not just going into one sector. So it's good for us to see that sort of you're thinking big. And as Adele said, it's an exciting time. I don't know what the demographic is of the people joining this webinar, but I remember when the internet came out and how exciting that was and all the possibilities that could come from that. And now AI is just doing the same.
Okay, a couple of
Very
people
good.
starting their own business. That's great. Super. Well, I hope you all enjoyed having a little bit of dream time and to creating that picture and that vision of where you're heading towards, and all the work that you're doing now that is setting you up for that future you, which is amazing. I have to say it's this kind of area is one of the things that I love about coaching. I'm not sure about you, Niamh, but it's
Oh yes,
really exciting.
it's getting those dreams on paper.
Yeah.
And then we move into how do you take that action? So before we do that, we're all getting very excited. So we'd love to know, what are you feeling most excited about as you create this vision for your future data science career? So if you can sort of join Slido, you can use the QR code, or you can go to slido.com and put in the hashtag, which is 4781613. And I'll put that in the chat as well. Let's just hope I don't do anything. And we'd love to hear or read what you're most excited about.
It's great to see a few of you setting up businesses, so it'd be really good for all of those that are looking at that to connect, because down the line, partnership potentials, who knows?
Exactly. And maybe somebody here has said they want to go into a specific area of data science where you want to consult or you want to set up your business.
Yeah.
So, keep an eye on these names, get to know each other.
Yeah. The network starts.
Now. So being excited about something again, love that, in getting a chance to learn something new and being inspired by a new world.
Amazing.
That's really good to see. The excitement is what it's all about. Learning new skills, very good. We love that. You wouldn't be in the right place if you weren't excited about learning new skills. So yeah, and getting knowledge that you can apply to different industries. That's really important. Oh yes, that's exciting.
Got a couple of other people typing. Let's see these pop through. Yeah, cutting edge technologies, absolutely.
Yeah, yes. Getting in ahead before everyone else.
Cool.
All right, wonderful. So keep typing, keep adding them in. We're going to move on, but the Slido will remain open. So we'd love to hear more from you.
And great to kind of see all the excitement and the ideas, and looking forward to seeing those all coming to fruition.
Right. So you've created the vision, you've got excited. Now it's time to really take that action. So we all know about SMART goals, and we'll get there first. But before we start with SMART goals, we want to start cleaning that data you just collected, sort of putting it into different sort of categories. What's most important? How do we prioritize which one we do first? So, a lot of you have picked up on the networking, and really, it starts now. So this could be a rock. It's part of your vision that has quite a big importance, just as important as completing this course will be. And that's another rock. But we'll get to that rock later, because actually it could be a pebble. So the idea of the jar of rocks and cleaning your data is to just really prioritize what comes first or what's needed most at this moment in time. So you have to look at it from the wider picture of your course, your work, your commitments, and just deciding, you know, what from a daily perspective, from a weekly perspective, from a monthly perspective, what are you focusing on? What do you need to prioritize first? So, you know, just if we pick up networking, you know, telling people what you're learning and why. You know, you might be doing this course. You know, a lot of people are doing this course to you know, have their own consultancies, or to sort of to do things in the health sector, or do things in the financial sector. So you want to be able to start creating visibility, and that's a rock. That's something you need to start doing now and putting into motion. And then, of course, you know, you've got your pebbles. So you're thinking, what are pebbles? So this is like, you know, tennis players, if we go back to that analogy, you know, if they're not showing up to tennis courts every day to find someone to play with, they're not going to be able to practice their sort of their art of playing tennis. And so for you, you know, the pebble is maybe the course. It's something that's just going to help you keep going. You're going to show up every day. You've got assignments, you've got coursework. It's going to help you get those skills done, you know. And you know, if we were then to start that rock of networking, it can soon become a pebble, because you've done the bit. You've created your LinkedIn profile. You've started meeting people. Maybe you're going out to sort of networking events, and soon that rock can become a pebble, and you can start prioritizing on something else. And then the sand is sort of the parts of your life at this moment in time, as you're going through this next 6 to 8 months of learning, you know, year to 12 months of career change. Sorry, got a frog in my throat. Thinking about the parts of your life that you can delegate, thinking about the things that you can automate, thinking about the things that you might want to postpone, you know, so that you can give your all to this exciting career change, this exciting sort of entry into the world of data science. So just giving some thought on how you want to prioritize, what you want to prioritize, what are the things that you might need to do to get towards, and that goes to your 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan, and cleaning it and putting it into the right places. Is it a rock? Is it a pebble? Is it sand? You know, how is it going to fit into my daily jar? How is it going to fit into my weekly? And how is it going to fit into my monthly? And you can use planners to do this. You know, a good place to start, if you don't know where to start, would be with your coach when you get assigned your coach. So it's just thinking about giving it some thought. You know, and if you're thinking about it and you can't make sense of it, bring it to a coaching session. So you've sort of got your rocks, your pebbles, and your sand, and now you're thinking very much those SMART goals. You're getting specific. You know, if you want to sort of set up a consultancy firm in the next 5 years, what's the first step? What's the first goal that's going to help you get there? You need to be very specific. So at the moment, we've got a wider goal. We want to get specific. We want to get into that sort of what's the first step? Is it going to be something to do with technical skills? Is it going to be something to do with networking? So you want to really get sort of specific rather than be ambiguous, because ambiguity will lead to inconsistency. So you know that you've got a wider goal of 5 years, but if you're not very specific about it, it becomes ambiguous, and you become inconsistent in getting to that place. So you want to sort of think about, you know, what will you gain from the skills that you're learning? What will you gain from this goal that you're setting for yourself? You know, if it's about learning a technical skill, what are you gaining, and how are you going to go about gaining it? So, you know, the course might help you. So if you're increasing your proficiency in pandas and NumPy functions, then, you know, the course is going to be there to help you. Maybe doing some practice and projects, you know, going on Kaggle, things like that to help you make that happen. You know, putting some time to it. So being very sort of time bound about it, measuring your progress, you know, and thinking about what you want to achieve this goal, and when do you want to achieve this goal by. So being realistic and being time bound. And then also, you know, as you're going about it, as you're going about creating this SMART goal for yourself, just thinking about what could be a barrier to achieving what you want. Knowing what those barriers will be will help you jump over them, will help you ask for help when you need to, but also be mindful of that this could get in the way today. You know, maybe there's a work event that you need to do, but you set a time that, you know, I've got to do this learning by this time, but you've got a project at work that needs to be done at the same time. So then thinking about how much time you're really going to need, being realistic about it, and then tracking your progress. Putting things to practice and seeing what's working, what isn't. Do I need to start over and try something new? And then, just taking it to your coach when you're in that goal setting session with them and asking them, does this feel realistic to you? Does this feel like achievable, something that I could achieve? And having those conversations. So some sort of goals, we've got some examples here. You want to publish a portfolio on GitHub, giving your goals some milestones. You've got a SMART goal, putting some milestones on it. Well, before I publish a portfolio, I need to become proficient in Python. I need to find a project to work on, and I need to complete the project. And you'd give yourself some timelines for that. Another one could be develop my network in the data science space. So you could be updating your LinkedIn profile. You could be developing an elevator pitch. You could be attending an in-person networking event, or you could be networking right now with the people who are on this call. So we're going to give it over to you a little bit. And, we'd love to see your sort of thoughts on what your rocks could be, what your pebbles are, a little bit more about a SMART goal that you've got for yourself in the next few weeks as you're sort of going through orientation before sort of the first course really begins.
And again, feel free to share anything in the chat. It's good because it does commit you to things. It also might help other people as well. Cool.
Something about a SMART plus D goal, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it looked like a really good SMART plus D goal. So if you want to put it back, we'd love to see it.
And I think using, a combination of these and all of these, the rocks, the pebbles, the sand, the SMART plus D, it just really helps to break things down, and it can take out of that, take away that overwhelm that can sometimes happen when we're joining, a new training project, a course, a career accelerator. There is going to be a lot to start with, but actually if then it's coming back, well, hang on, I've got my pebbles and my rocks and my sand. I know my SMART D goals. This is what I'm focusing on first. Really helps just chunk things and makes it more manageable for the mind than the overwhelm, which can sometimes kick in.
And if you'd like to ask any questions right now about goals, about vision setting, about sort of data science, you've got Dr. Ali here. You can put yourself off mute or raise your hand. Our events coordinator had highlighted that earlier. So Sam, if you do see any people, do let us know, and people can ask questions. You can ask them in the chat as well.
Brilliant.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and it's good we've got a combination of those really tangible skills as well as then the mindset. And they kind of work hand in hand. Confidence is an interesting one. I think, from a coach's perspective, we work a lot with confidence, and it comes with taking action. So the more that you are working with the Python, the more that you're networking and self-promoting, the more confident you'll become. It's yeah, they all kind of go hand in hand. It's not about kind of sitting on the sideline and waiting for confidence to hit before you do it. Is getting in and playing the game.
Yeah, it's one of those muscles that are hidden underneath your other muscles, if you think about in your body, and you don't know that you're actually activated it and you're using it because you're using another muscle that's helping it. So confidence is that hidden one that
Yeah.
you need to actually take action to make happen.
But then one day you do actually go, oh, I don't mind this as much as I used to.
I think we've got something about rocks, pebbles, and sand. So, you know, if you're thinking about your day to day, you know, and I'll get very basic here. So you get up in the morning, you've got a day, you've got to go to work, or you know, you've got to work from home, and you've got other commitments. It's sort of thinking about what is your rock. Well, one of the rocks is to show up at work. You know, one of the rocks will be to eat breakfast. One of the rocks will be to, you know, make sure you're, you know, maybe getting some exercise during the day. What's going to be pebbles is that, you know, your meals, you know, they're coming, you know how you're going to get to them. So you might have pre-planned those already, or you're having it delivered. It's something that you don't really have to give much thought to, but it's something that you do need to make sure has been sort of organized and part of your day. The sand is the stuff that you can put on autopilot. So do you have bills to pay? You're going direct debit? You know, is there sort of you know, other things that are happening, like, you know, paying for train tickets where you just tap, you know, on things. So that's already automated. So it's just thinking about it from that point of view, taking that sort of simple example and applying it to your vision, and seeing, you know, what are my rocks, what are my pebbles, and what is my sand. I hope that makes it a little bit clearer.
Cool. Super good to see everyone giving a lot of thought to their goals, their vision, what they're getting excited about. So thank you. Just quickly run through the support as part of the coaching on the Career Accelerator to support your success. So you will get invited to join a Circles community. You'll get notified about an intro to coaching kind of workshop. You also have a 30-minute intro to coaching session with a coach that you will be get the details to book into that. There is in Canvas, there's the self-reflection. And so really go through those self-reflection exercises. You know, some of what we've covered today goes into more detail in that. Really just helps you start understanding yourself better, understanding what you want to get from this Career Accelerator, along with those tangible skills. And then jump into, there's a pre-recorded goal setting workshop, how to set meaningful goals, but also how to get them. So there is a goal getting toolkit, which actually, you know, again, things like the rocks, pebbles, sand, the Smart D goals, there's some other tools in there. Weekly wins is a really, really powerful one that I love. Because it's about stopping every week and really just giving yourself a pat on the back for what you've done that week, the new things that you've learned. So have a look at the goal setting workshop and the toolkit that's there, and then you'll dive into the one-on-one coaching with your assigned coach to really start looking at, you know, what are your goals, what's the roadmap, and what's the plan to make those, you know, bring those to your new reality as you go through the Career Accelerator and beyond. So yeah, jump into the intro to coaching workshop and the session with your coach and kind of take it from there. So we've got 15 minutes left. I think we've done quite well on time, and we've got plenty of time now for questions. We still have Dr. Ali here. So any questions for him, please let me know. Like Neva said, you can raise your hand and we can take you off mute, or do feel free to pop them in the chat. There must be some questions.
Not every day you'll get to have a Dr. Ali here to answer your questions.
Yeah.
So if you do have any, it's a really good time to ask them.
And there is no such thing as a silly question. So, you know, if you're like, oh, I can't ask that, go ahead and ask it. And often someone else is sat there thinking the same or something similar. So. Okay, here we go. I want to know the mode of learning in the course. Is it like video or any other kind?
I can handle this question. the weekly pattern you have, you will have 2 to 3 hours tutor guided live sessions with the tutor per week, split between the material and the Q&A with the tutor. And it's in 2 different times during the week. I think Tuesday evening and Thursday lunch. I don't remember that, but something like that. Alongside that, you will have already materials to read, and it will be released on either Sunday the week before, or so you'll have enough time to read them, the material, to go through that. Within that asynchronous content or sessions, we call them, there are text, there are activities you can do, there are videos as well. And also every week you will have activity to do, and you can discuss it with your tutor. There is another dimension to discuss, is the discussion panel. No, sorry, discussion board, not discussion panel, discussion board through Circle. You put your question, and either one of your colleagues will answer it, or the tutor will answer it. That's offline or asynchronous as well. You will have opportunity to book one-to-one sessions with your tutors, of course, subject to their time. That's also to discuss something relevant to the, that is the weekly base. Usually the pattern we see, that's the students go relax on the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then when it comes to nearer to the deadline, they start to, this is really not the perfect. When we say it's a 20 hours a week commitment to read, we mean it, because it's a condensed course. I think I have answered the question. I want to know the mode of learning. And then David, we have, in terms of the specific technical skills, is there something in particular you think would help? Yes. I mean, I'm sure you did the Python course, sorry, the Python assessment. And also Fortran just released the Python course. You can cover some of the technical, you can practice before you start. This is really crucial for you, or important to make sure to fine-tune your skills in Python. That is important.
Thank you, Dr.
I am 54 years old. You are just older than me 1 year. I'm 54 last week, so that's not a problem. Time for the benefit. Yes. I mean, yes, it's not about the age. It's about your technical knowledge and how much time you have to commit in this course. You are going to. I don't know your background, Paul, but I'm sure you are interested. Just if you have to make sure to give the right time to the course to get back paid off, and I'm sure it's going to pay off for you.
Paul,
I'd like to add here, Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Adele.
No, you go, Neva.
I say I've got quite a few people in your age range. I'm not that far off either. So, you know, on the data science course in the cohort before you, and I can assure you that, you know, they're finding it useful and they're applying it and looking to apply it into what they already know. You know, it's a mindset shift here again. You're 55, you've got a load of experience and transferable skills that you're bringing to the table alongside a new skill that really hasn't been tapped into in the market as well as it can be. So you're in the front of the game rather than at the back end of it.
All right.
We've got one about a recruiter. They've been approached by a recruiter, and is it the right time to do a new role and the career accelerator? What's your thoughts on that, Dr. Ali?
Is that Anissa?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Anissa, I don't know your background, but if it's important, this is the course designed for people who would like to change their career from whatever you have to be a data science. And then, by the way, every one of us has a kind of experience. So for myself, I'm expert in kind of cybersecurity data, networking data, I can work with that. If you bring to me something relevant to pandemic data, I'm not the right person. It's also numbers. My point, you should know, you should have some experience in certain area, and then you learn how to deal with data, and then you will be expert in dealing with the data which you are interested in, whether it's in health tech, whether it is financial data, whether it is marketing, whether other type of data. So that is the thing you have all. This is advice for all of you. Even I'm the course leader, and I'm expert in the data science, but I'm not the right person to deal with the health data relevant to health, because I'm not expert in that area. So you have to learn the minimum, the skills requirement to be a data scientist, and then be specialist in the area you'd like to be special in. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I
Anissa.
think from a coaching point of view, Anissa, I think I'd really think, right, how does that role line up? Does it take you nearer your end goal, your 3 to 5 year goal, or not? What is it an easy transition for you? Does it build on the skills that you're looking to get? So there'd be a few questions to ask around that. I think, I'm not sure when you were offered and when you need to make a decision, but if we can get you kind of connected to a coach and maybe just talk through a pros and cons list to really kind of help you through that decision making process.
Yeah, you can always reach out and ask to have that conversation. Even before you get assigned a coach, even before you join the course, so you know that you're making the right decision.
And we've got one from Ali. Yeah.
Yeah. Ali Aydin Yıldız. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Yes, there is a cloud, it's a Google Cloud. I think you need to use them from course 3, but they are available. The way we work is you're gonna purchase yourself and you're gonna claim it back. And I think it's £100, or I don't remember the number. There is a voucher for you to use Google Cloud for more computational power and more storage as well. Not AWS, Google Cloud only as well. It's a voucher, so you can use it based on what we use actually. We use Google Cloud for that. Yeah.
And then we've got a couple of questions really around kind of statistics on past learners and students. I don't have those off the top of my head, but also everyone's kind of on different journeys. So there's some people that are in roles and they're looking to just bolt on those skills, maybe move within an organization, not necessarily get a new job externally. So there's a range of different journeys really that we see people come through on this career accelerator, on the other career accelerators that we run. So it's not as black and white as go on to secure a job, because some are in a job. There's been quite a few people that have been in a job and this has been an upskill and to get that kind of next promotion. And then we've got from Laura, and the particular markers that make student more successful on the course. I mean, I would say it's taking action, daily action, small steps, both in terms of the tangible skills and doing the work that the career accelerator requires, and doing the work that the career coaching requires to take action.
And you'll have rubrics as well alongside all the courses to tell you what is successful, what is expected at certain levels. So paying attention to those rubrics, really understanding what is required from you will be key. And those are sort of explanations that your success manager that will be assigned to you will be able to give you answers to really well.
And also, when we say 20 hours, as I did mention that, and I would like to rephrase that, when we say 20 hours a week, we mean it. And don't leave the material, the work for the certain week to the next week, and it will be accumulated. You will find yourself 4 weeks later, you have to commit to 80 hours. No, whoever completes the course and secure a job, they were committed on a weekly basis. Whoever left and find themselves there, that was the reason they left. The commitment, the homework for each week, and then they find themselves overloaded, and either they postpone the module and then they learn from that and proceed, or they left the course, which is not good. And this is normal for any course. You have to commit the work. Yeah.
I like to say you don't get to put today in the bank and take it out again.
Yes. And people have seen success in previous cohorts just by doing course one. It's knowing what you're going after and how you're going after it and being consistent. So taking away that sort of just like Dr. Ali said, being committed and doing it daily, step by step. And we've got a question from Nadia about supporting each other as remote learning students. So you will have the Circles platform where you can, and Dr. Ali had mentioned as well, where you can ask questions of each other, you can reach out to each other, but you can also sort of ask questions of your facilitators, your success managers and your coaches as well.
Yeah, there's just a question on the Bank of England project. Dr. Ali, I'm not sure if you can answer that before we wrap up.
As we speak, so far we have only Bank of England as a project employer. From Q3 in this year, we are talking to 2 or 3, at least 3 other employer projects in insurance industry, in financial services, in engineering. So we'd like to diverse that to fit the need of the diverse cohort. But currently it's Bank of England what we do now. But we do understand it's going to be more than employers for the project to make it diverse.
And Georgia, with regard to your holidays, I think you talk to a success manager about that, and it would be looking at when they are, how they fall, what's the workload, what you can kind of carry, because everyone's situation is different. Some people are working full-time and doing the Career Accelerator. Some people are working full-time with kids and doing the Career Accelerator. Other people aren't working. Some people are sponsored from their employer, so they're given some time allowance to do the Career Accelerator. So there's not a one-size-fits-all with this. It's really looking at, what's your availability to do the work, capability. If you've got a holiday, I don't know what it looks like pre and post that holiday. Should you miss some of the work? So I would say talk to your success manager about that and look at how to best manage that for your individual circumstance.
Yeah, and if you're in a rush, maybe reach back out to your enrollment advisor to be connected to the right person, or maybe they know the answer. So just reach out to someone on the 4th Rep team.
Cool. Okay, we're on time. Dr. Ali, thank you so much for your input, your knowledge, and sharing all that with everyone. It was super helpful to hear from you. Thank you everybody for coming, for playing full out. It was great to see the chats, the Slido boards, to see the vision, the goals. Super excited for you all. I hope you all enjoyed it and got a lot out of that. And we look forward to seeing you in the intro to coaching session. Do look out for the invite to join that. And Neva and I will look forward to working with some of you on the journey, as do the other coaches that aren't here today.
And we wish you best of luck on the course.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.